What is happening, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Fresh Hope for Better You podcast. As always, I am your host, Oliver Goulet, and I am here to bring you some fresh hope for your day. I wanted to make a second part to my 2 weeks ago's episode, the mental health one, because as May comes to a close, it is Mental Health Awareness Month still, and it should stay at the forefront of our minds because mental health is something that many people struggle to this day. It is an illness that a lot of people struggle with, and I wanted to touch base on why I am the man I am today, and that's simply because of a lot of tragedies that I've gone through my life, and the biggest one with me being losing my best friend when I was 16 years old. Um, as you guys know, I talked a lot about how I was bullied as a child growing up, and how that really shaped me into the man I am today. But it also goes to show that I was a bully myself. That's because you get what you give in life, and if you're bullying people and you get bullied, like that's what you do. And with my best friend committing suicide, for the longest time, I had always questioned myself, what could I have done differently? And even though we were best friends and we loved one another, we were still, we were dicks to each other. We talked shit to each other. And sometimes we took it to the extremes. And for the longest time, I held that against me after he committed suicide, is that the fact that, I probably could have been a better friend. I could have listened to him more. I could have not picked on him as much. I could have done a lot of things. And all these what ifs lingered in my mind and really made me think about it for multiple years following what happened. And it kind of really helped me realize that you can always be a better friend. You can always be a better person. You can always be more thoughtful, more caring, more loving, more kind to your people, because knowing what I know now, maybe things could have went a lot differently. I could have been a more thoughtful friend. I could have been more caring. I could have been a lot easier on him. I could have talked less shit to him. I could have done a lot of things. But I can't change the fact that I did what I did back in the day, and I bullied, many people, and including my best friend. And I know that I wasn't the straw that broke the camel's back, but I could have added straw to the back that eventually, with that tipping point of him getting in trouble, really broke his back and, pushed him over the edge. He made a decision in the moment, and looking back at it now, it doesn't matter what you're going through right now, it will get better. And this goes for every single person out there listening to this. No matter what you're going through at any point in your life, there's a brighter side of things. It will get better, because trust me, with me struggling with being bullied severely, me struggling with almost getting expelled and kicked out of school and losing everything I ever wanted, with me struggling with mental health, with me struggling with addiction, drugs, alcohol, abusive relationships, all these things, there was times during every one of these parts of my life where I thought it was the end. And having my best friend commit suicide at 16 really made me realize that it will get better. Because guess what? When I found out in that moment that my best friend was no longer there and I had no way to talk to him ever again, I didn't think my life could go on. And it just goes to show that it does go on, because guess what? I'm still here today. That was 8 years ago, and I'm still here today. And because of that situation, because I didn't give up, because I didn't go and take a bunch of drugs and try overdosing, because I didn't try to shoot myself, which all of these things crossed my mind many, many, many times, I'm here today to give you guys some light in the darkness and to share my stories and hope to inspire you to become the best version of yourself. The Fresh Hope for a Better You is there for inspiration and to make an impact and to educate you and to inspire you to become the best version of yourself. And when you start that journey of becoming the best version of yourself, it is a lifelong commitment. There is no end goal for becoming the best version of yourself, because you can always continue to make little improvements over time. You're not going to become the man or woman you want overnight. And I can promise you that, because I've been asked many times is, how do you do it? And it's like, it didn't happen overnight. I've been dedicating 4 years of my freaking life to this. It's been a battle. Trust me, many times it has become so hard where I did not think I wanted to keep going. I was like, fuck, is this worth it? Is all the shit I'm doing on a daily basis worth it? And then I realized I'll have something bless me, God or the universe will bless me, put something in front of me and show me that it is worth it. Because I can promise you, your life is worth it. And you making that decision to become the best version of yourself is truly worth it. And going about where I'm at with my life right now, yes, I may be ahead of many people, but guess what? Life is a game, it's a journey. But at the same time, I struggle day in and day out with a lot of things. And I just don't show it because guess what? I'm not one to complain. I'm not one to bitch about things that, I'm dealing with, because guess what? I don't have problems. I just have more work to do. And that's something I have to remind myself on a day-to-day basis is, yeah, you have all this shit on your plate. You have to do X, Y, Z. But guess what? What good is me bitching going to do about it? And the more you start complaining and playing the victim card and talking about all these things you got to do, that just puts a negative connotation on it in your mind. And the more negativity you put into your mind, the more it's going to affect your mental health, the more you're going to feel like not doing it. So the best thing you can possibly do today is stop complaining and bitching. Guess what? Everyone has fucking problems. Myself included. You have problems. Everyone you know has problems. And I'm sure a lot of the people that you know love to dump their problems onto you. And that's why I'm always talking about, separating yourself from those negative people and finding your tribe that, serves you and helps you. And you guys are on the same path, because you're always going to end up running into people that just want to dump their fucking shit on you. And I've had many, many people that I've had to cut out of my life. Doesn't mean I don't love them, including my sister. She used to be the person that'd come to me to bitch and vent. And it came to a point where I just said, hey, how about you quit fucking complaining to me? I'm not your fucking therapist. You need to realize that, because guess what? I have my own problems to deal with. And if you have a problem and you come to me with that problem, if you have a solution, I'd love to hear it, how you solved it. That's fucking awesome. Good for you. Let's win. But if not, don't bring me your fucking problems. Yes, I solve problems in my life, in my business, and within myself. But I used to spend so much of my time trying to solve other people's problems that I wasn't even able to solve my own problems, which stressed me out, which put a lot of toll on my mental health. And then I was trying to fill other people's cups when my cup was not full. And yesterday, I had the opportunity to talk with 3 different people that are on the same path as me. They're on the self-development journey. They're trying to become better. They're in business and entrepreneurship. And those conversations are what fucking fuel me, because I can't have conversations for more than a couple minutes with, the average person that's not working on themselves or working towards some sort of goal, because we simply don't have anything to talk about. And this goes with a lot of people in my family and stuff. I love them to death. I would not be the man I am today, and I would not be on this journey if it wasn't for something that they have helped me with or done in my life to make me realize that either A, I don't want what they have in their life, or B, I need to learn from this and continue to move forward. And all these things that, life is always going to throw at you. It's going to be stressful. It's going to be tough. But I can promise you one thing. It will always get better as long as you take, the opportunity to get better and learn from it. Everyone makes mistakes. I fuck up every day. I'm always messing up. But guess what? I'm always learning. And it doesn't get me down, because guess what? Everyone makes mistakes. All the people like Andy Frisella, Ed Milet, David Goggins, all these people have made so many mistakes in life, and they've all failed at things so many times. But yet we look at them like they are the greatest people on earth, and we think that they've never failed. Well, that's fucking false, because they'll tell you how many times they failed at something, how much they've had to go through, all the pain, the struggles, all these things that they've had to go through to endure to get to where they are at. The only thing that separates them from you is they never gave up. They've been in the game longer. They've been consistent. They've learned, they've grown, and they've not made the same mistakes many times over and over and over again. The definition of insanity is continuing to do the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So you can apply that to anything in your life. If you are in the hamster wheel, whether that be in, your financials, your relationship, or anything like that, stop doing the same shit and expecting a different result. Once you start doing that, everything else, starts to get better in your life. Your physical, your mental health. Once you quit doing the same things that got you in the position that you're in today, you break that cycle, life gets better. You move up to the next level of life. You continue to grow. You find new people. And all of this comes back around with, basically just focusing on yourself and trying to become better. Because every day I see people and I'm like, man, I see a bright future in that person. But then again, it's not up to me. It's up to them. And some people struggle to see it within themselves. And that's why I'm a coach, is because I want to bring out the best in people, because I see potential everywhere. Everyone is full of potential. You can make money or become the best version of yourself no matter what. There's way too many opportunities out there for you to sit around and waste your life and play the victim card. And once you start doing that, it really affects your mental health. And so many people nowadays are playing the victim card. Oh, this person is blessed. I don't have this, or yeah. So fucking what? It's up to you. You are in control of your life. And the day I accepted that I was in control of my life and my future, was the day my life changed. Because now I have grown men and women looking up to me, asking for help. And I'm a 25-year-old man. And I used to be mind boggled because of it, because I'd have all these older people asking me questions. How do you do this? How do you do that? How'd you get there? Like all these people, and they're like 10, 15 years older than me. And it's like, well, I just stay consistent for a long period of time. I've devoted my life to it, and I've continued to build, and I've continued to learn. I've continued to grow. I pick up a book every day. I read every single day. How about you? Are you investing in yourself on a daily basis? Are you putting yourself first? Yeah, people are like, oh, I love to help people and all this stuff. But the most selfless thing you can do is be selfish when you're investing in yourself. Because it all goes back into pouring into other people's cups. If you can't pour out of an empty cup, how are you ever going to make anyone happy? If you're not giving them your all to serve them because you're not filling your own cup, that does no justice, because you're not giving them what exactly they need. If you are like me and you're filling your cup on a daily basis and you're interacting with other people that fill your cup, guess what? It makes it a hell of a lot easier to fill other people's cups. And I know when I have, people that are higher up in the game of life and, business and entrepreneurship that are filling my cup, it makes my mental health a hell of a lot better. It helps me a ton, because simply I am working on myself, and it allows me to help other people, which, whatever you believe in, God, the universe, whatever, we're put here on earth to serve one another and help one another along this journey we call life. But we have to be very particular and specific with the people we are helping. We have to be conscious of the people that we're helping, because there are takers. There are people that are just going to take and take and take, and those are going to drain you. And I'm sorry for going off subject, but this is all tying back into your mental health. Building up yourself and working on yourself on a consistent basis is the only way you're going to make it through life, because this Mental Health Awareness Month, it should be every month, because it is a huge issue right now. Suicide rates are through the roof, especially since the COVID bullshit. Because one thing I want to tie in is the fact that social interactions are directly related to your mental health. Because I can notice this when I'm working all by myself for a long time throughout the day and I have no social interaction. I feel it in my mental health. I'm like, man, I need to talk to someone. I can't just be caught up in my own head. And there's been many, many studies about this, because, the deeper relationships and the better connections you have, the more fulfilled you're going to be, the better your mental health is going to be, but only if it's with the right people. There's a TED Talk that dives really deep into this about the social interactions and your mental health. And if you want to live a longer and happier life, it all comes with your social interactions, increasing them and making it part of your life to have conversations with like-minded people and people that fill your cup, because you are more likely to live a longer life the more social interactions you have, which is, it's something that we need. And with, COVID and stuff, they took that shit away from us. They wanted us to live at home. They wanted us to work from home, and they didn't want us to have social interaction. So we couldn't talk about all the bullshit that they were doing, all of the things that they took away from us. I will never forget those 3 years of our lives that they took away from us. All of the joy, fulfillment. People lost their family and loved ones and didn't even get to say goodbye because of the government controlling us. And it's a terrible thing, and no one should ever forget that. And even though I spent those 3 years dedicated to becoming a better version of myself, I still will never forget that. In a lot of people's eyes, COVID was the worst thing to ever happen to them. In my eyes, COVID was the best thing to ever happen to me, because it gave me the time to figure out who the hell I was. And I look back at it and I am so grateful that that happened, but I am so sorry, and I feel deeply. I really, really feel it for all you people that did not take the time to develop any sort of skills or invest in yourself, because you wasted 3 years of your fucking life. And I'm sorry to say that, but guess what? There's nothing you can do now to fix that. But guess what? You can fix your future by starting today. There is always a fresh hope for you, no matter what you think. Because I used to think that there was no hope for me when I was 270 pounds, walking away from my family to go fucking blow a line of cocaine in the middle of the fucking afternoon to go back just to get that high. Or when I'm shoveling a whole fucking pizza down my mouth as I'm 270 pounds, feeling that dopamine spike from that food, when deep down I was like, dude, you're a fucking piece of shit. And I had to live with that. I lived with that shit my whole life, knowing that I was a fat piece of shit. And I was told by many others that I'd never amount to anything. I was even told by my best friend, that's something that sticks with me today when I started my entrepreneurship journey, is, when are you going to go get a real job? When are you going to start living in the matrix and, falling in line like all the other fucking sheep? Yeah, that shit burns within inside of me. And that's what drives me to become better every single day. Because one day, I might let that motherfucker ride on my private jet. Maybe I won't. But I can guarantee you there's two things that are going to happen. One, I'll either have a private jet, or two, I might let him ride on it. But there's one I can put my money on that I will have. And you guys can take a guess at which one that is. But going back to your mental health, it is truly up to you. If you sit and think about all these things and just start overthinking and not doing anything and thinking about all the things that you wish you had, or you wish, you had a better life or more opportunities, wishing isn't going to do anything. Taking control and starting by simply prioritizing yourself will help you move forward, because trust me, everyone's going to go through that time where they even think about taking their life. Almost every single person goes through that. I know a lot of the greatest people that everyone looks up to have thought about it. It's because it is such an issue. It comes down to basically what we're doing on a daily basis, the food that we're eating. All of these processed foods and all this stuff is not good for your mental health. All the vaping, all this other shit, all the drinking, alcohol is a depressant. There's a reason I gave up alcohol. And that's simply because it makes me depressed as hell. Yes, I may have fun while I'm doing it, but guess what? The next day I feel like shit. And for 5, 6, 7 days, my mental health isn't there. My cognitive function isn't there. And I don't want to have that setback, because if I'm not on point, I'm fucking up. I'm making mistakes. I'm making mistakes that I've made in the past that I don't want to continue to make, because I want to move forward with my life. And I'm not trying to be insane. I'm not trying to repeat the cycle and, expect a different outcome. And if you're a person that is that way and you continue to rinse and repeat the same cycle and expect a different outcome, you're fucking insane. That is literally the definition of insanity. You cannot continue to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different outcome, because it's never going to happen. I can promise you, I've been there, and y'all have been there too. And y'all have always wondered, why is this not changing? Why am I not doing this? Well, what have you changed? Are you changing yourself? For example, for relationships, if you're a person that, is in a relationship that's toxic and you wonder why, like, it never works out, you're always fighting, you're always disagreeing with that other person, you end a relationship and you get back in another one. You do the same thing. It's rinse and repeat. You're never going to have a great relationship unless you take the time to fix yourself. And going back into, social interactions with relationships, that's your number one thing that you need to focus on with having help with your mental health and living a longer life, is having great social interactions. And having great social interactions starts with becoming a great person. It starts with becoming the best version of yourself, because no matter what, you will draw in that partner that's equivalent to you. So if you look at yourself right now, what type of person would you attract? Would you attract someone that's on their self-development journey, that prioritizes their physical health, which is connected to your mental health, which is why I'm always talking about physical health, because it's directly correlated to your mental health. Because if you can look yourself in the mirror in your purest form in a naked body and say that you are confident, that's going to boost your mental health. You're not going to be, contemplating suicide when you're looking yourself in the mirror, whether you have a six pack or you're just toner and you're just a sexy person. Like, that's just not going to happen. And the relationship side of things is, I've been in there. I've been in toxic relationships. And one thing I've noticed, like reflecting back, is, yeah, I went relationship to relationship for a while and I was like, things aren't changing. Why is that? And I had no idea at the time. Looking back now, I can see that I wasn't working on myself. I wasn't trying to grow. I wasn't trying to expand my mind. I wasn't taking care of my physical health. So what the hell did I expect? I was literally insane, expecting a different result from continuing to do the same thing over and over again. Me doing drugs, me drinking alcohol, me partying, me prioritizing partying. That was a priority of mine at one point in my life, is, all right, how am I going to turn up? How am I going to hide from the reality of my daily life? And I would party every single day. And it's something that, looking back, it's like, that is why that carried over into every single relationship I had, whether that be with a female or a friend. That carried on. That was a priority. There's girls looking back at it that, I missed opportunities with, that would have helped me get on this path sooner. But I was afraid. I wanted to stay in my comfort zone. My comfort zone at the time was drugs, alcohol, partying. And if I remember specifically one girl, that she was a reader. She wasn't she didn't go out and party and all these things. And I was like, nah, that's not who I am. I can't be with someone like that. But that's who I really was meant to be. And the universe and God, I had asked for opportunities to become better at the time, even though I wasn't on my self-development journey. And the universe and God put that woman in front of me and gave me that opportunity. And I fucking blew it, because I was too stupid to realize that that was an out. That was someone I could have potentially built a life with, or I could have learned from them. But I didn't give them the time of the day because I was so focused on chasing that next high, which, honestly, don't get me wrong, partying can be fun. Alcohol can be fun. Using recreational drugs can be fun. But it's not good for you, and it leads to a dark path, especially if you have an addictive personality like me. Yes, there's people that don't have addictive personality that can go out and have a drink maybe once or twice a week or whatever, or go and do drugs, whatever. But for me, having an addictive personality, I can't, because I'm like, ooh, that felt good. Like, I want to do more of that. And deep down, I'm like, I know that it's not good for me. And my mental health suffered from doing that, because I did that for 5 years. I partied like a fucking animal, and definitely changed my mindset quite a bit. I learned a lot during those times, and it really taught me, because I spent so long in my partying phase, how I don't want that. Yes, maybe once in a blue moon, I will, have a drink, a social drink, but I am 25, and people that I look up to that don't drink at all, that are sober and stuff like that, yeah, they're older people, but guess what? They partied until, their 30s and stuff like that. So I look at it this way. If I start, really taking into consideration and limiting any time I will have a drink or anything like that, I will be that much further ahead with my life compared to them because they started a lot later than me. And looking at them now, they're killing it in life. And that's why I'm always talking about, self-development and stuff like that, is because it doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter where you're at in your life. You can always continue to get better, and you can always start to get better today, because I'm hoping that this podcast, The Fresh Hope for a Better You, it's very clear. There is always a fresh hope for a better you, no matter what you do. Because I know people that start their self-development journey in their mid-30s or even 40s, and they turn out to be amazing people, and they accomplish so much with their life. People are always underestimating or overestimating what they can do in a year and underestimating what they can do in 5 and 10 years. And that's something I struggled with. When I was 22 years old, I was like, I'm going to be a millionaire by 23. Didn't happen. I made more money, but I wasn't a millionaire. Then I repeated it again before 24. Oh, I'm going to be a millionaire before 24. Nope. Before 25. Nope. Guess what? The reason being is I have to learn all these lessons. I have to go through the process. I can't just have that end goal, that end outcome, or that goal happen, because otherwise I wouldn't appreciate it. I wouldn't, learn the things and skills and develop these things that I need to in order to continue to grow. Because just like lottery winners, most people that win the lottery aren't financially illiterate. They cannot, deal with their money. They have no idea how to stay wealthy. They will go broke very fastly because they are not financially literate. You hand a bum $1 million. Do you think that bum's going to make $2 million out of that? Fuck no. He's going to blow all that money on drugs and partying. And guess what? He's going to be right back where he was, because he didn't develop the skills and habits and routines and the lifestyle to make that money or keep that money. All of the things that he's done led him to being a bum on the side of the road, which is why, there are some bums that, they go through a hard time and stuff like that, but they're working to become better. But then you see the ones that are drug addicts and stuff like that you can just simply tell they've done a lot of bad shit to get them to that point, which those are the type of bums I won't give money to. But if I can look at a person, I'm pretty good at reading people. I've read a few different books on just being able to read people, and it's helped me out a lot because I can sense what type of person a person is simply by either having a 2 to 3 second conversation with them or just looking at them. I can tell you what they've done to get to where they're at in their life. And that all goes to show with like their mental health is such a big thing. Like all these bums and stuff, yes, they went through struggles and stuff in their life, but at the same time, they guarantee the Lord and the universe had put opportunities in front of them. Just like me with that one girl, the Lord blessed me with an opportunity to get out of where I was and to take that journey or take that opportunity to become something. And I blew it away. I didn't want it. And the Lord just was like, all right, why would I bless you with more things? I'm going to let you keep going down this path that you're going down with the addiction and drugs and partying and being overweight. And we'll see if one day you realize that. And luckily, I woke the fuck up and I realized that, because if I hadn't, I wouldn't be here talking to you guys today. Another thing I want to dive into before I get going, this got to be a shorter episode today, is the fact that you can always be there for your people. But if you're not there for yourself, you will never truly be able to help your people to the best of your ability, which is why I'm always talking about self-development, because we need to become the best version of ourselves in order to lift the people around us and elevate. And I've talked about leaving the friends and stuff in the past that aren't willing to elevate. Yes, you will have to leave some behind, but you will start to notice people around you striving to become better because of you. Because I've noticed this firsthand within myself, is I used to try preaching to people, oh, you should do this, you should become better. And as soon as I shut the fuck up and started working on myself and I proved it to them how much better my life is because of it, guess what? I didn't have to say shit no more. Now people elevate around me no matter what, because I carry that energy. They see what I'm doing, like, damn, that shit's working for them. Maybe I should try. And right there, I have to say it less often to people, because honestly, I got fucking sick of it. I got sick of preaching and barking up the tree, trying to get them to do things, when honestly I should have just been simply focusing on doing it for myself and allowing them to either grow with me or get left behind. So that's what I want to leave you guys with today. Make sure that you guys are really taking into consideration, your personal mental health. And by doing that, here are 3 action items that you can do today to start. 1, you can start prioritizing your physical health by exercising daily, releasing those good endorphins. 2, you can start eating better quality food. A lot of the mental health issues we have to do with us today is simply from the food we eat, which is tied into our gut health, which is our second brain. If we're eating a bunch of processed bullshit foods that our bodies are not capable of utilizing and aren't getting the nutrients from, it's fucking up our second brain, which is why it's sad when you see all these people only eating fast food and all this shit food. And it's like, no wonder you guys struggle with your mental health. It's because look at the food you're putting in. Because I know if I eat some shit food, I feel like shit. My brain feels like shit. I beat myself up for my mental health struggles. And I know I'm no different than anyone else. You can say, oh, it doesn't affect me, but I fucking bet my money on that it does. Because I can guarantee you, if you were to eat like I do every single day, your life would be a lot better. And 3, be there for your people, because you truly never know what is going on in that person's head. And you don't want to have to go through what I did of never being able to ask again after it's too late. So with that being said, guys, if you guys enjoy the show, if you find value in it, if you guys just want to support me, I ask that you leave me a 5-star review. That's the only way I'm going to continue to move up the ranks on the podcast platform, because it is my goal in life is to inspire and impact millions of people by helping them change their lives by providing them with some fresh hope. So with that being said, guys, go get after it this Monday. Start prioritizing your physical health, taking care of your nutrition, and being there for your people, because the mental health crisis is real, and the only way that we're ever going to make a change is it starting with you. Have a great day, guys. I love you, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
I love you.